Hey, Mike here, and I wanted to cover a topic that's, well, a little bit sad. While browsing Twitter, I see all those people being laid off at the moment due to the crisis, due to companies cutting spending and cutting the budget. And a lot of those people are asking what they can do as freelancer designers out there. So how can they maybe try to make it on their own? And basically it's all about adjusting to this new reality. So how to get clients is a pretty important task for any new freelance designer. And there are a couple of things that have changed a little bit, and especially now in the crisis when the companies that are looking for freelance designers are also pretty low on budgets. You must find your unique sort of way to convince them to choose you. And I believe that we found the way. So the thing that we're doing is basically starting off with a one-day redesign sprint. So instead of committing to a much longer time, the customer can first try you out and pay you for just that one day. And after that, they can decide if they want to work with you for the entire project, or maybe they're not happy with you. You need to understand that for those companies, it's a bet, and sometimes taking a bet, especially now for a startup in a crisis, can be deadly. So I think that the best part about this is that it actually works for everybody, because you get paid for your work, but it's just a day. And if you do a good job, they're gonna hire you for the entire project anyway. And of course, this mostly works for UI design. So it's not really about UX at the moment. So most of the actual understanding of the product has to come from a much longer time frame than just 8 hours. But just doing the UI in a very nice way and maybe fixing some very obvious flow mistakes or flow problems in the screens that you have, I think that you might convince those people, those startups, those customers to choose you to do the full design or to do the full workshop, to facilitate some research and just to continue with the project. And we've been trying this for a while now, mostly because we're pretty good at UI skills at the moment and we can do those things very quickly. And I'm happy to say that we got 99% rate of actually continuous work after those one-day sprints. So we do just that one day, and after that the customer gets something tangible, something that they can actually see some work has been put into, and it's still not enough for them to do the entire project themselves. So I think that this new way of really quick, agile, sprinting redesigns can work. And as a freelancer, of course, you need to show your work. So it's good to show that you already done similar exercises. But since you're just starting, you don't really have any. So what you can do is to redesign some app that already exists, or just create a product for yourself. Because it doesn't really have to be real, it just needs to show what you can achieve in about 8 hours. And after that, I think that probably the couple of the first clients, you should probably just, go down with the price a little bit. Don't focus on making money just yet, but you need to have a couple examples of real use cases of that. And once you get that rolling, I think it's gonna be a lot easier to just offer the one-day design sprint, and after that, just a plan to continue. You can then provide them information on what the next steps are. And you can even provide them in advance. So the next steps would be doing proper research, or maybe some analysis of their existing product, or some workshops online, obviously. So anything that comes to your mind, you can add to a little document that comes first, or like a PDF with some examples as well. And try to show as many of those examples as possible, because we all know that people are buying with their eyes. So if you show them something pretty, they're gonna be wowed and they're gonna pick you. That's basically the sort of easiest way to win over clients. And it's best to just sort of write about it on the social media, that you can do something like that and maybe just add like a very, very low price for the first couple projects. And I think that you can also try unsolicited redesigns, so you can maybe find a product that doesn't really look quite right, make a redesign of one of the screens and then just send it to the company, because maybe they're gonna like it. We tried it a couple times, but I'm not really convinced that's the best way. But if you're desperate, it's actually much better to try and send something to those companies instead of just sending them an email, maybe, hey, maybe you'd like to work with me. Just they're gonna be a lot more invested into even talking to you if you actually provide them some value first. And that value could be a speed redesign of what they have. So one of the recent examples of products that we did in this way is Photo Aid, which is a passport or document photo editing app, which basically uses some AI to cut you out of the frame and have a photo ready for your documents. And it of course adjusts the crop and the sizing for every individual document, so it does all the work for you. And as a startup, that company didn't really know if they wanted to work with us or not, so we just proposed to them, hey, let's just do one screen, the main screen of the app. We're gonna redesign it in one day. And the end result looks quite nice. So obviously they went with us for the entire project, and now over 30 screens later, the app is actually in Google Play now and it's pending App Store approval. So that's one example that you can actually do projects in one day, and that can lead to a nice partnership in the future. And of course, if you have some sort of money saved that you can survive for a couple more weeks, I also suggest to expand your skills. So the more new things that you can do, the better. And one thing that can attract customers the most, as we already said before, people are basically buying with their eyes, is to do animation, like UI animation, transitions, and something, something really beautiful to look at basically. And you can learn animation online. I actually have a whole playlist, how to use InVision Studio, which you can use for free to create very nice eye-catching animations in a simple way. And then sending those animations to customers will actually convince them even more, because it looks like a lot more effort than it actually is. So those are a couple ways that you as a designer can use to get new clients and maybe start the company of yours finally. And you know what, maybe that fact that you were laid off isn't really that bad. Maybe it's the beginning of something new and awesome. Maybe you're gonna start your own company and surpass your previous employer. I did that in 2009, so it's completely possible. So don't be afraid of that. It just happens. The markets are very unstable now. So focus on just getting new clients and focus on offering them value through something that they can see and they can immediately understand the value that you provide. Because if you just write about it, or if you show them some projects from your portfolio, it kind of is like, yeah, fine, but these are not my products. They're like some nice screens or whatever, but I'm a lot more invested if I see my own product redesigned or changed or improved than by seeing other products. So that's one thing that you can use to really get ahead. And I hope you will. So best of luck. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next time. And actually, if you've gotten this far in the video, just find me on LinkedIn or Twitter and send me your designs. I can give you some free hints and feedback, so it's gonna be easier for you to get those clients. Cheers.